Hi everyone. Just a quick introduction, just for this one. May is a special month. It's EDS Awareness Month, so we're having 2 episodes, two where it raise awareness about EDS. And if you are not aware of what EDS is, the NHS website lists EDS as a group of rare inherited conditions that affect connective tissue. This first episode this month is with a very old, very dear friend of mine, Dell Overton, who is also known as Adelle over on the YouTube. She's going to talk to us about her experience with EDS, among other things. And in 2 weeks, I'll be back with her daughter, Sherry Overton, and Sherry's partner, Sean Davis, who are going to tell us about their experiences living with EDS. So please enjoy. This episode will end very abruptly because Dickhead here didn't prepare his laptop properly, and I travelled 200 miles to go and talk to these incredible, marvellous people and fucked it all up. But I will be back at the end of the episode to say a few more words. So, without further ado, let me please introduce you to Mom Adelle.
It's time for a run, I feel.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. Great timing.
You have to wait until they actually start talking to each other. They sound like little mouse droids from Star Wars. It's like, what?
Amazing, love it, love that idea. Alright, so we are going.
Wicked.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey up.
How you doing?
So I'm here with Adelle Overton,
Yeah.
otherwise known as Mom Adelle, on YouTube. Do you want to talk about your YouTube channel? That is,
Yeah,
that
man.
is on here. If you want to start off, what do you do?
I started YouTube a while ago. It's been a rocky start. I should be doing more with it. But I started it because I've been diagnosed with a really rare condition, which isn't as rare as people are thinking, actually.
That's in my notes.
Wicked.
That is in my notes.
But not many people know about it. So I was like, well, let's raise awareness a little bit and just say about what it's actually like to live with. Because people kind of had it, if they look into it, they kind of have a basic understanding of what it is. But they don't think about what it's like to actually live with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you've got loose joints, so you're a bit wobbly and everything goes a bit weird. It's like, yeah, but I dislocate my hips about 6 times a day, dude. It hurts. That shit has an impact.
Yeah, of course.
So I just wanted to do the YouTube just to kind of go, this is what it's like. I mean, especially it's got very little views, like not many people have seen it, but the most successful video I've got is actually when like a RuPaul's drag race star, the winner of like season 11, Evie Oddly, she's got EDS, and there was a big like Twitter explosion at her because she said, look, after a show I'm broken and I can't be standing outside in the cold. Yeah, like she didn't she refuse to sign some autographs or something? What she said was, I don't want my photo taken, but she still had a chat with the people, right? And I don't think she signed anything. I don't think she was asked to, but she basically had a chat with them for a little while. She was just sat down having a fag out the back of the venue. But she was like, I can't have my picture taken right now. I feel like death. Like,
kind of understandable.
Yeah. But yeah, basically Twitter do what Twitter do and turned on her and sent her loads of bullshit profanities about, you know, how these people put her where she is and she should be more grateful and thankful and do whatever any fan asks. And it's like, well, yeah, until you put into the factor if she's got a debilitating physical disability, and she's just been doing God knows what on stage, and you get fatigue, you obviously get joint pain because she twists herself up like a pretzel. That hurts.
Yeah, like, well, that's when I saw this whole thing on Twitter happen with it. I was thinking, like, obviously, like most people, I relate things to myself and to what I know. obviously I don't have EDS, but I have been on stage and I've been quite active and live on stage. Yeah. And even for me now, if I do a gig, basically I'm just sat on a stool with a guitar, not really doing much. Yeah. But still, I'm sweaty, I'm knackered, I can't be arsed.
That's it, yeah.
And performing is hard. And I don't watch Drag Race, but I do know drag acts, and I know a lot of people. And I live in Brighton, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
It's basically a gay capital of the UK.
Yeah, and there's a friend of mine whose real name is Rusty, Tanya Hyde.
Oh, Tanya Hyde.
And,
I love it.
Yeah, and he's just always battered afterwards.
Because what they put their bodies through ordinarily is mental. Like cinching in, taping up, ramming your penis up your arse cheeks and shoving your bollocks in your body. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
And doing it with fun. A disability on top of that, it's like, people need to calm the fuck down, dude.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, a lot of people seem to think that they're celebrities, they're famous people, or owe them something.
Yeah.
So it's... the whole like celeb awareness thing is something that I've written down because the singer Sia.
Yes, there's also.
She's only announced that recently, hasn't she?
Yeah, it was last month. I want to say maybe a couple of months ago. Yeah. But yeah, it's brilliant. I know when Lady Gaga came out as having fibro, that put it shone quite a nice light on it. And then now to have Sia step forward and go, yeah, I've got EDS. It's phenomenal. And I'm pretty sure I saw an interview with Sia. Brain's a bit spotty, but she was saying about how she needs a village of people to keep her just going.
Yeah.
And that's very much how it is. Like, as people with EDS, we are very reliant on other people around us just to hold us kind of in one piece.
Yeah.
So we can go and do whatever it is we need to do. So imagine for her performing on top of that.
Yeah, of course.
A ball ache. But yeah, it's great that, we're seeing more people in the public eye that are brave enough to step forward and go, I've got this thing and it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because as much light as we can shine on, like any difficulty that people have,
there's different types of EDS.
That's right. Yeah.
There's when I was talking, in fact, last night I was in the pub, as I do. I was talking to someone and they're asking me about today, about talking to you.
Yeah.
And I mentioned EDS, and she said, "Oh, that's the stretchy skin thing."
Yeah.
I've never even heard that. I just So I looked it up when I got home. I said, so one of the types of EDS is stretchy skin.
Well, a lot of them overlap. I think there are even up to 13 different types, but there are, I want to say 5 main types, and the rest are kind of subtypes. But it's very much on a spectrum, and doctors love to classify things and put things into little boxes where it's all nice and neat. But EDS isn't one of those things, unfortunately. I have the hypermobility type, which is called type 3 sometimes. But it's generally called hypermobility EDS. So as it sounds, I'm very, very flexible. My joints pop out of socket. But it's not just that, it's internal. Like all of my guts love stretching around themselves and twisting up, and my lungs are bollocksed. Like they kind of, if you imagine my collagen is like chewing gum, whereas normally it's like elastic bands.
Yeah.
So if you imagine you stretch a bit of chewing gum, that it just goes baggy and saggy. So whenever I've done a lot of vocal training and dealing with projecting the voice, so I can feel my lungs a lot. They stretch out loads, but then when they go back, then they don't kind of compress. They're kind of a little bit baggy and saggy and crap.
Right.
The same with my stomach. Might be issues with my liver. Don't know. But basically, it all goes because collagen is a building block of the whole body.
So it doesn't just affect joints and
no.
It affects absolutely everything.
Absolutely everything. Yeah. Even my eyeballs. My eyeballs are squished.
Yes, there was. I can't remember his name, but he's kind of like Doug Jones, where he's body in lots of horror films.
Yeah.
I think the latest thing I saw him in was he's the monster in the last Insidious movie, or the key on his finger.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where he's all of his digits are just really long and like he was because Doug Jones was the thing.
Doug Jones was the Fawn as well in Pan's Labyrinth, and the new Star Trek thing.
Is it? Oh, he is in that. And he was Abe Sapien as well.
He was Abe Sapien, yeah.
Doug Jones is amazing.
I love Doug Jones.
It's great. Man. But yeah, this other guy, I can't remember his name. I think he's Spanish or Mexican or something. Mm-hmm. But he has EDS, and he's got the stretchy skin thing, and he's got like all the weird bone thing.
Yeah.
And I saw an interview with him, doing research to talk to you, and he was doing this thing where he could blow his eyes out.
Oh, pop his eyes out.
Yeah, pop his eyes out.
And I might be able to, but I've never tried.
Yeah, he was doing it in this interview, and it was really, really freaky.
It
was horrible, yeah. I was dancing around my room. Oh my god!
No, I mean, it does allow us to do stupid party tricks. I mean, anybody with EDS will go, yeah, I've got a party trick where I can do something. But the thing is, as soon as you get diagnosed, they go, right, no more party tricks. I know that you've gone around showing everybody that your thumb's bent backwards, but you've got to stop doing it, because every time you stretch it, it stretches that chewing gum a little bit more, and it doesn't go down. It tears rather than stretches, or it'll only stretch a certain way, but it ain't ever going to get back to the way it was again. So it's like, fuck.
So is it something that you're born with? Is it? It's not something
genetic.
That sort of develops and.
Nah. What tends to happen is people's the wear and tear on the bodies becomes more evident first before the EDS does.
Right.
Certainly with me when I was growing up, I was like, oh, I'm a bit more bendy, and my dad was always
something I was going to bring up was like, obviously, like we've known each other for
20 odd years.
Yeah. And you've always had, it was mainly your knees.
Yeah.
And you've always had, and it's never stopped you from doing anything.
We tried not to.
You've always had that, and then it was only I think for me, because obviously I've been so out of touch with everything recently, but it was only a couple of years ago when I started seeing you talking about EDS.
Yeah, that's pretty much when I got diagnosed.
Right.
I was diagnosed at 36, and I'm 39 now. A lot of people, they put an ad campaign out, the EDS UK, a while ago, that was saying that it takes between 2 and 24 years for somebody to get actually diagnosed.
Really?
And again, it's just because doctors are kind of vaguely aware of it, but that's why our I don't know if you know, but our little mascot is a zebra.
Yeah, I've got zebra written down.
That's it. Because doctors are always taught if you hear hooves, it's horses. But we're the zebras. Yeah.
Because I've heard that from Scrubs.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, Dr. Cox says it in one of the episodes.
Exactly. It's how they're taught. You look for all the signs, and if it's what you think it is, then...
it's also that's taught in psychological investigation as well. When I was studying that, that's one of the things... That's it. Where, but it's the other way around.
All right.
With that, it's always it's going to be the most weirdest thing you can think of.
Yeah.
Because the sort of stuff we were studying was just crazy.
That's it. But I was diagnosed with hypochondria way before I was diagnosed with EDS.
Really?
Yeah, doctors just did not believe it. They were like, no, it's all in your head, there's nothing wrong. But I don't know if you remember my knee that I had real bad issues with, from being 17. At 26, they finally stuck me in an MRI scanner and went, oh, you've got no ACL. Like, from all that time ago, the ACL had actually snapped.
Right.
And I finally had a replacement. I had a graft when I was 26. And I kept going in.
I think I remember that happening.
Yeah.
Because obviously at that time of my life, I was... I'm very open about it. Just, I was cocaine.
Yeah.
It's not that I was on
You were
drugs.
that little fucking T-Rex.
Yeah. That's exactly it, yeah. I became drugs. Like. Yeah. But I do actually remember that happening.
Yeah. 9 years. And I was backwards and forwards into the doctors going, this ain't right. It really hurts. And they're like, oh, just stick painkillers down your throat, mate. They are. Crack on. You walked in here, so it can't be that bad. And then they were like, oh. The surgeon even turned around to me and went, it looks like you weren't ever born with an ACL. Because, obviously, two flappy ends.
Yeah.
Walking, when you're walking around on a a knee, there's a lot of movement and there's a lot of crunching together. So basically what was happening is, as I was walking around, my little flappy ends of ACL were getting into the joint and just getting ground off and pulled off. Yeah, it's supposed to take 4 hours in surgery and it took 6.5. It got to the point they had to knock me out because it was I had a spine blocker. Like I was conscious while they were doing the surgery, and it started to wear off.
Nice.
Yeah, the numbing was wearing off because they were like, "Oh, it's only a 4-hour surgery. We'll put her in for put enough in to last for 5. That'll do." No, like 5.5 hours later, I'm going, I can wiggle my toes, dude. Should I be able to do that? Because I can kind of feel this. And they went, oh shit. They just went with loads of sedative medication. Because of course they can't put you under general partway through. Yeah. So it was just loads of sedatives. And like, there you go. Night night. But that's the other thing with EDS. Is that it's they've discovered that people with EDS don't react to local anaesthetics the same as everybody else.
Yes, I found, I'll see if I can find it again, but I found a blog of somebody who, it was a Polish person. I had to get my friend to translate it for me.
Yeah.
But that's basically what she was saying.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing, where it wasn't just anaesthetic, but it was medicine in general.
Right.
Her body was breaking it down completely differently.
Yeah, than is
completely
expected.
Different.
It's crazy. And it explains why I've had a dental phobia all my life. Because doctors will be going, oh, this is numb. And I'll be going, no, it isn't. And they'll be going, well, I put enough in. It must be just you being a bit more anxious about it.
No, I think it's completely logical to be scared of dentists.
Well, yeah.
Because they are sadists.
They are.
They are.
But unfortunately, when you're a kid and you're being told that the thing you can feel, you can't feel.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, you must just be hyper aware. You can't feel it really. It's like, I bloody well can. Yeah. I promise you.
Yeah, because obviously when you're a kid, adult, you have to trust adults.
Exactly. That's what you're told. That's what you're told.
Yeah.
So yeah, for years and years, it was like, no, they hurt me. I don't like it. I'm not going. Which is why my mouth's so fucked. And it's like it vindicating when you get diagnosed, but also so frustrating. You want to go around all the people from your childhood and go, the thing I was telling you was fucking real. Let me show you how on this flowchart. You bastards. So yeah, I think a lot of my mental health issues that I've had have kind of stemmed from that. You know, when you're told, no, that doesn't hurt. And you're going, yeah, duh.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, if this thing's been around your entire life, but you didn't know it was there.
Nope.
Then
like everybody was like, oh no, it's you're fine. It's in your head. You're just hyper aware of everything. And that's how I grew up. It was like, wow.
Yeah, but there's a difference between hyper awareness and knowing what the fuck's going on.
That's it.
Yeah, no, I've had something similar. I don't know if you know this. What year were you in? 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with a degenerative brain disease.
I did not know.
Yeah, slowly eating away. That's because of drugs, mainly.
Right.
Yeah. And when I was like sort of talking to a few people about this, and they all said, "Oh, you know what you want to do? Meditation. It will sort you out." I was like, no, it won't.
It really
it's not
doesn't.
going to put back the brain cells that have been eaten.
No.
And other people just went completely the opposite ways. Oh my god! No, it's fine. It's just when I hit 50, I'm just going to go a bit dafter.
Yeah.
That's it.
Quantify daft.
Yeah, it's just dafter than a normal 50-year-old.
Yeah. Well.
It's a very slow acting thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I never really sort of... Because I know a lot of people who have got I don't really like the phrase invisible illness.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people who have got things like this.
Yeah.
And I wasn't one of these, oh no, you're fine. I was just like, you've got that wrong, but you've got that that's wrong with you, it's bothering you and all this.
Yeah.
And I never understood the attitudes of other people towards it.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Until I got diagnosed with this.
Yeah.
And it's fucking fascinating.
It really is.
Because everybody's got an answer.
Yes.
So
everybody's got a piece of advice that they think is some weird, mystical, ancient knowledge that they've just happened to pick up and go, oh, this will fix everything.
Because that's the main thing with my brain problem, is that people say meditation, it'll clear your mind right up. I don't need help clearing it up. It's going to do it by itself.
Yeah. It will quite happily clear everything up.
Yeah, that's it.
All of the memories.
As it dies.
Yeah.
But, so that's the same with EDS then. People just...
The amount of times where people have gone, oh, you just need a bit more vitamin D, or you need a bit of vitamin B, or try yoga.
Yeah.
Like me and a mate of mine, Tash, who's also got EDS, we've got a joke now. Like when somebody pops up and they think they've got this amazing bit of wisdom that is going to sort us out, that's usually yoga.
Yeah.
We just say to each other, yay,
it's
let's try
go-to,
yoga.
It's always the go-to.
Yeah. And it's like, well, yes, I'm really good at yoga. But know what yoga does? It stretches your shit out. Do you know what happens when I stretch my shit out? It don't go back.
Yeah.
You dumb fuck. So, yeah, people's attitudes are either there is some kind of ancient wisdom that can fix you right up, or they go, yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
That's usually me, because I'm so sort of I'm just useless. I'm just rubbish. Don't always know the best thing to say.
That's it. Well, no.
Always put my foot in my mouth all the time.
Like
when I was doing internet dating, I was actually on my Tinder profile. I will 100% say the wrong thing.
Yeah. You got to deal with that.
Yeah, it's a gift. It's one of my talents.
We're just gonna laugh about it.
Yeah, that's it.
But to be fair, I prefer the "that's weird, isn't it?" than the "I can fix you with essential oils" option. Because at least it's a bit more honest. It's weird. You're damn right, it's fucking weird. Yes. Yeah. It is weird.
But they shouldn't do that.
No, it shouldn't. But too many people have got these fixes that they think, hey, I know this thing.
No, that's it. I mean,
I'm a fix you.
I do strongly believe that it's one of the symptoms of living in an age where everybody has access to information on a little black box in our pockets.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And even in my case, on my wrist.
Yeah. That's it. It's like, oh, look, all of the world's knowledge right here in a convenient little tablety thing that you stick in your pocket.
And we use it to argue with each other and watch videos of cats.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even going to deny that. It's just all bickering, porn, and animal videos.
Yeah. That's all you need.
But it's one of those strange things, isn't it? That it's like this golden era of information and everybody's literally connected. But by the same token, everybody's less connected.
Yeah. Like
we don't really engage with people on a physical plane anymore. Because everything is so controllable on the internet. You know, you can face tune your photos. You can delete what you're about to say 20 times until you've completely perfected it. And I think that's kind of driven us further and further apart on a physical basis.
Yeah, definitely.
But by the same token, we can still talk to each other across the planet. And it's like a fucking weird dichotomy of loads of information and loads of connection, but still kind of being isolated. And
yeah, well, that was it. The other day, I was having two conversations at the same time. One of them was in France, the other was in Australia.
Yeah.
It's just like
mental.
Absolutely crazy.
And like you say, you can access all of the information.
I was sat in a Weatherspoon in Brighton.
Brilliant.
It's just fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
Really
just having a chat. A couple of people.
That's it. So, we've used the acronym EDS.
Yes.
Quite a lot. What does it actually stand for?
Ehlers Danlos syndrome.
Ehlers Danlos. Because my original question was going to be, how is it actually pronounced?
I call it Ehlers so much just because I'm a bit lazy, but I think you're supposed to pronounce it Ehlers. Right. Like Ehlers. Or Ehlers. But it was, I believe, a couple of German fellas. And if I'm remembering this correctly, it was 1938 when they discovered that there was this weird issue.
So, like, it's been they've been aware of it for a very long
long time, yeah.
But there's still not a lot done about it.
Again, I think it's because of the perceived rarity.
Right.
I mean, if you think of contortionists and gymnasts, chances are 90% of them have got EDS.
EDS, yeah, of course.
And so many of the things are considered a blessing. Like, oh, you've got really soft skin, you're 40 and you've barely got any wrinkles on your face. You can bend loads. Yeah, they're all considered benefits. But if you look like beneath the skin, it's all going a bit Pete Tong. And I think that's generally...
That's a great phrase to use for it. It's all going a bit Pete Tong.
Yeah. I think because the blessings are perceived externally,
right?
People don't, think about what's happening internally for those blessings to occur, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So I think that's generally why it's not much research has gone into it. Why people kind of avoid it being a negative thing. Yeah. Because they're like, oh well, you can touch your back of your head to your arse,
Yeah, you can make money out of that.
Yeah, it's got to be a good thing, surely. I mean, the amount of physiotherapists I've gone to, and they've gone, oh wow, you've got really good range of motion. Yeah, I fucking do. That's the problem, mate.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think people are kind of blinkered to what they perceive. So they perceive somebody who looks really young and who is really flexible. But they don't see that actually it's a really bad thing that's fucking them up in so many different ways.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, it's just not had the research and the money.
There's not that many things like that, is there? Where usually if someone's ill, they're ill. Like, there's no sort of, as you said, like perceived benefits.
Yeah. It's weird. Like if you think of so many. I don't know how to explain it. So many things that are perceived as being youthful and healthy. Yeah. They're symptoms of EDS.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, that is really... Yeah.
And because of that, it kind of skews people in the medical profession because they're like, well, you look really healthy and you can bend over a normal range of movement, which is what people want to be able to do. They want extra flexibility. Flexibility is a good thing.
Yeah.
Soft skin's a good thing. Not having many wrinkles, that's a good thing, surely. And it's like, well,
it's only a good thing, like societal, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of goals. It's what people try and attain. They take loads of tablets or put shit on their face to try and get that. But I'm sat here going, I've barely got any wrinkles on my 40-year-old face. However...
In a lot of pain.
Yeah, in a great deal of pain. And, I mean, my spine at the moment is concave.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's literally crumbling backwards. Yeah.
There was something that you said on one of your videos that it sounds weird to say, but like that I quite liked. When you were trying to describe what EDS is, and you said it's basically your body doing its own thing.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
it won't do what you want it to.
It won't obey. Like, my fucking meat puppet does not obey me, and I don't like it. It pisses me off.
Yeah, of course, that's going to be horrible.
Yeah, it very much, it does. It behaves in weird ways. Like, just to walk, I've got to be thinking about literally where my bone is in space, where it's going to be when I put my foot down, whether I need to tense my butt muscle a bit more to make sure that hip doesn't go out. Like,
that's pretty much how I walk when I'm drunk.
Yeah, that's me all the time.
Wow.
And it's crazy because before I was aware of it, I wasn't doing any of those things.
Yeah.
I wasn't hyper aware, I wasn't thinking, or at least not consciously. I'm sure on some level my brain kind of learned how to communicate better with my body and was automatically doing things that I'm kind of maybe subconsciously aware of. But now I'm aware of it, I kind of try and make more of an effort to make sure that before I put weight on my foot, my knee isn't twisted in a weird way. And you have to...
Seems like a lot of hard work.
Dude.
To take one step.
Yeah. Like one of the things that I've kind of garnered out of the EDS community, like EDS UK, is a lot of people say it is very much like however long it takes I'm going to say regular, I hate the term normal, but regular is just as bad really. But what would take somebody without EDS 15 minutes to do, it takes somebody with EDS at least an hour's worth of energy. So everything's like 4 times more difficult.
Right.
So if, for example, I am like my old zombie work, I was working sometimes a 12-hour day.
Yeah. Just for people who are listening.
Oh.
Do you want to explain what you mean by your old zombie work?
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit of a weird sentence to say.
So, my fellow Stephen and I used to work at Z Events, which was a like nationwide company. Yeah. But we primarily had a shopping mall in Reading. And we basically employed people to dress up as zombies and then took money off people to be given a replica firearm and be thrown into the shopping mall and shoot zombies. It was brilliant. You know, we'd have a kind of cinematic storyline running through it all, and you would meet, as a customer, you would meet characters that later become zombies, or characters that, you know, you want to trust, and they're going to help you out of this shit situation, but probably going to turn on you by the end of it. And our events were like 2 hours long. So you would literally get booted into the building under I can kind of say it now because it's all closed down. Yeah. But you were thrown into the building under a false pretense of being like in a flu camp. You know, like when people are on human style testing stage. Sorry, I keep twisting around and fidgeting. So people were on a drug trial for a cure for the flu. But of course, oh shit, you know, within 5 minutes of them walking in the building, everything goes horribly wrong, and they're introduced to 2 characters who are security for this company, Synthesis. And we had like logos all over the building. Right. And basically we would take them through pitch black corridors. Well, not pitch black, otherwise it'd be boring, but you know, really dark basement corridors, kind of going around to get to an armory. Before they even had a weapon in their hand, we had zombies getting thrown at them.
Brilliant.
And it was basically a narrative-driven story that would go through, and they had things that they had to do. There'd been a breach and the building was in lockdown, so they need to figure out a way to lift the lockdown so they can get out.
Yeah.
So
sounds like a cracking day out.
It was so much fun. It was ridiculous. But whereas, you know, our customers were running around for 2 hours, that 2 hours for me was like 6 hours.
Right.
And we would run 3 on a Saturday, 2 on a Friday. So like a 12-hour day was the equivalent of me completely going for 48 hours.
Yeah. Was this before you were diagnosed as well?
I got diagnosed towards the end of my time at Z.
Right.
Because I kept injuring myself in stupid ways. Because I used to work at the airsoft side of it as well, because they used the building for airsoft to begin with. It was an airsoft site.
Right.
And in order to kind of boost the income a little bit, I ended up being a marshal for the airsoft side. And we've got rental weapons. We've got G36 rifle. And of course, when we've got a load of rental players, they all like just dumping the kit down. Yeah. So I walked past the table, and a G36, there's like a handle on the top, like a rail. And I picked this fucking G36 up just by the rail while I was walking. So mid-stride, go bump, and my shoulder dislocates from picking a G36 up. off the table.
Right.
So obviously for a while I was in a sling. And it was kind of at that point where I was like, this isn't sustainable. I can't keep working. So I ended up having to leave. But best, 5 years of my life, man. It was fucking legendary.
It does sound fun. To be fair, it does sound a lot of fun.
Best thing I've ever done. Like, obviously, other than squeezing children out. I think that was a little bit good as well. But because it was so active, we were falling on concrete. In fact, one of the zombies worked out that we were hitting the deck at least 140 times a day on concrete or marble.
Right.
Continuously.
Yeah, non-stop.
And it was just such a painful process. But by the same time, really rewarding. Adrenaline fueled, so you don't even feel it at the time. And you got to scare the shit out of people. So it was like, it took a lot for me to give up, but obviously in the end had to. And then Steve managed to keep working there until like a year afterwards, I think.
Right.
So it was 2017 I left. He left 2018, and then not long after, unfortunately, it was closed down. Somebody, the owner of the building, had decided to sell it to somebody who was actually going to demolish it.
Oh,
and
right.
now, sadly, the building has been demolished. So it's like, oh, sad face. As far as I know, Z Event still runs up in Scotland.
Right.
But towards the end of Z Events, they turned from zombie to post-apocalyptic. So they had kind of mutants and weird things, but it meant that the staff could be a lot more like vocal and threatening.
Yeah, a bit more creative.
Very much more creative. And we had, I can't remember who it was, because I know that we got a lot of props from a fella. Jesus, can't remember his name now. That's bad. But he did the makeup for World War Z.
Oh, right.
So
cool.
the zombie style makeup that they had in that, we had a few prosthetics for. Mark something, can't remember his last name. Mark Collier, something like that. I'm sure from him they got.
I've seen the photos of you done, and you've got one up there.
Yeah, that was makeup done by Stephen actually.
Was it really?
Yeah, we were in an abandoned factory, and we were just like, we just took a bunch of latex and water-based makeup. It was like such a basic kit, but there's no CGI in that picture at all. We let off an orange smoke bomb.
That's amazing.
And that's the smoke that's around there, and it just shambled out of it, and the photographer got a fucking gorgeous shot. Yeah,
because obviously, like we were talking about this before I started recording, but you've done quite a lot of acting and bits and bobs.
Yeah, I've done more than I gave myself credit for. It's actually only fairly, like, I say recently, but maybe halfway through my tenure at Z Events, where I was like, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
Damn it! I've very nearly applied for equity as well.
Really?
Because they started accepting people that worked in like live theatrical things. Can't think. But like even people who, go and work at Old Towns at Halloween, equity started to accept that kind of acting as part of the craft.
It's about time.
It was so good. Like,
it's hard work. I mean, it is. Down in Brighton, we've got Tullis Farm.
Yeah, Tullis. I've never been, but I've met the blokes.
I've still not been yet. Every year, my friends are like, we'll go, but
you should.
It never happens, but I really want to.
I'm going to say really good friends. I don't know whether Michael will feel the same way, but the fella that runs a company called Scare Tours, called Michael Bolton, he also has... Yeah, I know, right?
Brilliant.
Yeah. Obviously, he came to Z Events a couple of times. I met him first when Stephen and I were working for a different zombie experience called Zombie Boot Camp. And Michael's amazing. I love him to bits, but he travels the whole country. And he's gone across to Europe now as well, I think.
Right.
Just any horror experience, throw Michael at it. He loves it. So he created a thing called Scare Con. So everybody that does scare attractions kind of comes together for it's a 2-day convention. Now, it used to be a one day.
Amazing.
But yeah, so I've met the Tully's lads at there a couple of times, and I know that they've won a couple of the scaries, they're called the awards. I'm pretty sure the Tully's lads have won a couple of awards.
It's such a big deal.
So good.
It's such a big deal when it starts.
Yeah.
Because they do something at Christmas as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And they do a lot at Tully's Farm. But it's I know. I've got a friend who goes every single year. Even if he goes on his own, he's there all the time.
Yeah, it is that good. We've got a kind of Tully's Farm light in the Midlands, but it's still really good. They're at Burton, and they're usually. I was actually there when I was discussing earlier about working at a place for Halloween, which is why I can be in Zombie Hood as much. I was working at the Adventure Farm.
Right.
During Halloween. It was their second attempt at pulling a Halloween event, but this was 2011, I want to say. But since then they've exploded. They have brought so many people in to create scare attractions for them.
Well, that kind of thing these days, it's very popular now. Isn't
Very
it?
much so, yeah. Finally, England's caught up and actually make a big deal out of Halloween.
Yeah.
But I think more than that, especially the trend that we noticed at Z was that obviously the 2008 bank bollocks kicked off. A lot of people were really concerned about, their monetary future and the finances for everything went to shit. And obviously we've had austerity and the entertainment industry has boomed, particularly live action experiences, escape rooms, anything that can take people out of this crappy reality for a little bit of time.
Of course, anything to do with escapism.
Yep, has skyrocketed. Like computer games.
Yeah, this was
films.
a conversation I was having recently where I was talking to somebody who doesn't play video games, doesn't really understand them.
Okay.
And just basically asking me why I play them. It's like all the games that I play are things that I cannot do in real life. So, like, for example, the game that I'm playing at the moment is Ark. Yeah. It's like, I cannot raise a T-Rex in real life.
No.
So I'm going to do that.
That shit ain't ever going to happen.
Exactly. Skyrim is one of my favourite games. All the entire Elder Scrolls.
Oh, yeah, they're brilliant.
And, I will never be a sorcerer.
No.
So, it's like...
The closest you can get is LARPing, where you get beanbags and you go, fireball, fireball, throwing a fucking beanbag. I love that shit.
Yeah, see, I never did that. I never did LARPing.
LARPing's brilliant. That's where I started. I think LARPing was my... I was 14 years old when I started LARPing. It was fucking mental. But that was the centre of everything. I loved the acting, I loved the makeup, I loved scaring the shit out of people. I never really liked playing a character when I was LARPing. I always liked being a monster. It's kind of progressed from there.
Brilliant.
But all of that is exploded. Everybody just wants something else to think about or look at for a bit.
Yeah.
So, entertainment industry has boomed. I think, particularly over the last 6 years, 7 years, there's been a big influx in people they don't want to sit down and play a game now. They want to go out. They want to be in it. They want to be part of it. So the escape room industry is obviously booming, which is incredible. I love escape rooms. But they're basically the immersive theatre light. They you go in and you've got a bit of a role, you've got a bit of a story around you. But some of them you don't have actors, some of them you do. But it was basically a little bite-sized version of what we were doing at Z. And to just see them all pop up all over the country.
Yeah, there's the one that I went to in Brighton, because they're everywhere in Brighton, there's so many. But the one that I did, it had an actor in, but it was a like a science lab.
Right.
And they were trying to do work on resurrecting the dead.
Oh, amazing!
And it was a disembodied head. It was just a head, and they were so clever the way they did it because it was just basically a head on a table.
Yes.
And they made him up to look like a really just a shitty mannequin.
Yes.
And then he started talking to us.
Oh, fuck!
So funny, and the guy was just taking the piss out of us.
Amazing.
And it was great. It was absolutely. He kept making fun of the tattoo on my neck and all this. Like, oh, you're a sailor and all this. It's brilliant. It was so much fun.
And it's good when escape rooms put that little bit of interactivity in there. That is so cool. Though I've been to 2 escape rooms. Neither of them had actors in, but they're in Derby. Yeah. There's one called Edith, and I really want to go, but I can't because of physical issues. You have to start by crawling through a little tunnel. It's like, there ain't a power in the verse that's going to get me crawling on my hands and knees through a tunnel. Maybe put me on a skateboard, I'll lie on it.
Yeah, just push
me through it.
Because when it comes to things like that, it just entertainment in general. The more sort of weirder things that that we've always been into, are getting more and more popular.
They really are.
And where I've noticed that this was something else that I've been doing an article about at the moment. So when I was at school, I was one of the very few Grebs, as we were called.
Yeah, man.
And all the bands that I used to listen to back then, I was bullied for listening to these bands.
Hell yeah!
And all these people that bullied me are now posting on Facebook that they're going, really looking forward to go see Pearl Jam in the summer.
Yeah.
You beat me up and stole my Pearl Jam, burnt my Pearl Jam t-shirt in front of me.
Yeah. You're best.
All these bands that I used to listen to, this is one of my favourite bands has always been Placebo. Yeah. Always loved Placebo. And there was this one guy who, when he found out that the lead singer was called Brian and wasn't actually dressed like a woman, that was it. I was a faggot. I was gay. It was all this and he went to go see Placebo last year. It was I've always been into them.
Fuck off.
I was like, well, yeah.
It really has. It's gone that way for sure. Yeah. A little bit further back, if you had a computer, you were a nerd. You were,
Yeah, and now everybody
loves it.
And horror is just such a booming industry at the moment.
And it kind of makes you feel, especially people like us, we were on the apex. We liked it before it was cool. Your bitches just jumped on that bandwagon.
With them.
Yeah. We did it first when it wasn't cool. Fuck all you bitches on our bandwagon, you bastards. We earned it.
We earned it. We did that.
We did all this before it was cool.
Yeah, so there's a good friend of mine who just meets up with another one of her friends and just watches B movies.
Yes.
And she's recently watched Revenge of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh, amazing!
And she just declared it's now her new. It's the one with George Clooney in it.
Yeah.
And she declared it's now her new favourite film ever.
Okay.
Great quality film. It's brilliant. Can't beat it. Things like Frankenhooker and things like that. Fantastic.
The Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. They're doing a remake.
No. They need to stop now. If it wasn't bad with Disney remaking all of their bollocks. Every other cunt's jumping on the bandwagon.
It's how many remakes of Black Christmas has there been?
Oh, Lord.
Because the original was 76.
Yeah.
There was one when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
There was one probably about 10 years ago, maybe a bit less. There was one. Well, there was one last year.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there's been 2 while I've been in Brighton. That's 8 years.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
Stop it. You need to stop.
yeah, Black Christmas. I mean, the original isn't even all that good.
No. But it's like Night of the Living Dead. George Romero thought it was going to be such a flop, he didn't even bother putting any copyright on it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. And so every motherfucker's made that.
But he hated the fact that people would always concentrate on the zombies.
Yeah.
For him, it wasn't.
It wasn't about the zombies. It had nothing to do with the zombies. It had to do with the characters being stuck in this shit situation and trying to work with each other to get out. I mean, the fact that you had your first black protagonist in film was in Night of the Living Dead is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's it. And that was his main thing, was about sort of racial stereotypes. And,
and of course the guy, they just killed him right at the end.
Yeah.
It was like, cunts. He survived through all of that. He managed to, like, okay, everybody else around him died, but he managed to survive through all that, and now you're going to just come fucking shoot him.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. That was exactly what it was all about. And then, you know, you got into Dawn of the Dead, 70s, I want to say. And that was kind of espousing consumerism and, you know, people basically walking around like zombies, you know. They've
saying that the remake of Dawn of the Dead, it was Zack Snyder. I actually really
enjoyed it.
I thought it was really good.
I wasn't so keen on the zombie baby thing.
Yeah.
Because I can see where you're going. It makes sense, but
because for me that was the first time the sort of fast zombies sort of came in.
Yeah.
And thanks to The Walking Dead now, like the slow zombies coming back.
Yeah, for sure.
But there was Dead Rising.
Oh, I love that game so hard, man.
They did it right, where it was during the day they were just like these lumbering things, and then
at night
it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those games are just great.
Yes.
Brilliant. Left 4 Dead is probably my favourite zombie game.
I love Left 4 Dead.
Or Stubbs the Zombie.
Yeah.
The soundtrack to Stubbs the Zombie was
incredible. Really good. Deadlock's another one. Just on
I don't think I've played
Xbox.
That one.
It's very rockabilly style with the music. But then basically the idea is there's several different characters. I forget what. It should be on Xbox.
I think I've seen it.
Live. But basically you're running around trying to fortify like a room that you're in. So you've got to destroy furniture and then put blocks up on the windows and stuff and try and keep the zombies out. And then they get in, so you've got to figure a way to... I think you can kill them, and you've got several characters you switch between and they can all do different things.
Love it.
It's so good. Stupid, weird, cartoony, independent game. So much fun. But that's it. Again, circling back, it's all the escapism. Like, the computer game industry is just skyrocketed.
Absolutely.
And then the advent of better and better technology for people at home and mobile phones.
Yeah.
Anybody can be a games developer now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you've got to do is you get yourself, you know, Unity or something. You can sit down. You can make your own
that's
game.
it. Well, I mean, like that's entertainment in general.
Yeah.
I have, I'm a composer, songwriter as well, and I've got an app on my phone.
Yeah.
That I make professional sounding music with.
That's it. It's crazy.
And like, even what we're doing right now, these days it's called a podcast. Back in the day, it was talk radio.
That's it.
And
exactly.
now everyone can have their own radio show.
Which is sometimes a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
Any dickhead with a mic can...
When me and Flo did the live episode, we had somebody who kept wanting to get involved.
Right.
And to get called in, and because we didn't know him, so I was like, no,
because
this could be anything. And then afterwards, we went onto his profile and listened to some of his episodes. And all it is, he doesn't talk. And all it is just every episode was him playing bass really, really badly.
Amazing.
And that's every episode. It's just him playing a bass line.
That's phenomenal.
Really badly.
Knowingly, is he self-aware, or is he going, I'm the best bassist in the world?
But I might get in touch with him.
Yeah.
I might give him a few lessons.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's crazy. Anybody can do it. You know, it's the same with makeup. You know, whether it be SFX or beauty makeup. You had to go, in my day, you had to go to college, you had to go to beauty school, you had to then expand out, and if you wanted to do SFX stuff, you had to go to a special SFX school to, you know, figure out how to work with all the different mediums and the safe use of it. Now, any dickhead with a phone and YouTube can learn all of that shit.
Yeah, that's the thing, YouTube
and then
as well.
Get on the internet and buy the stuff that you could only buy from specialised places.
Yeah, YouTube, everyone's got their own TV show now.
Yes.
It's like, I've got to do some plugging now.
Yeah.
Paul Hibbert. You remember
Yes.
Paul Hibbert?
Yep.
He's got his show where he reviews things. He's got like 62,000 subscribers.
Nice.
I think it was last time I saw it. I think it was 62,000.
That's incredible.
and you went to school with him.
Yeah.
He was one of my old friends from childhood. It's crazy, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just insane. Yeah, everybody can have their own radio show. Everyone can have their own TV show. It's like even with writing as well.
Yeah,
just
you
set
get
up
a blog. You can self-publish.
Yeah.
You can write a book and just stick it on Amazon and have people buy
That's
it.
And
99p on Kindle.
Yeah, even with music now as well. There's a company if anybody asks me for advice about getting music online, I always point them towards a company called DistroKid.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar.
£20 a year, unlimited uploads.
Amazing.
They deal everything, and they even deal with if you do a cover. Yeah. They deal with the legal side of that.
Oh, what?
And you just have to pay a little bit extra.
Yeah.
For each cover, and that's it.
That's phenomenal.
And so now, this is what we were saying before about it's time to get rid of record labels.
Yeah.
It's on its way.
Yeah.
It really is. The music industry is going. It's not changing. It's not evolving. It's kind of reverting to when it was good.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
It was her and her brother in a bedroom recording shit, and those are the original. When you buy her album, where she's touring the fucking world, selling out stadiums, it comes from music that her and her brother recorded in his bedroom.
Yeah, that's it. And even amazing. What we're recording on now, it's free software.
Yeah, that's it.
And this isn't the only free software that's out there that does this. There's so many. But you've got Reaper. Obviously, we're using Audacity at the minute, but
there's so many different.
So much.
Like video editing and audio editing and photographic. Obviously, you've got your.
Back when we were younger, this was the future, man. There was nothing like this at all.
If it was like you need to make a film, you'd get there with your little tape, handheld camera, and
that's it.
If you wanted to edit anything, you had to pause the recording, fix it.
Yeah, the first
hit play again.
The first ever piece of recording equipment that I ever bought was a 4-track mini disc recorder.
Amazing. Yeah. Mini discs.
And it was terrible. So bad.
Doesn't matter. You were recording your own CDs, man.
That's it. But and even because even the internet has become so much more now.
Yeah.
And there's so much you can do. And I think this sort of brings us back to the main topic of today. Because you can raise awareness about these things.
Exactly.
And this brings us back to a mile in my wheelchair.
Indeed. And just using what's available to just get as much information out as possible.
Yeah. So now you have got a forum to talk about the EDS and talk about anything else.
That's it. And any dickhead with a camera, me included, can just sit down and talk about things that are important to them. But it is, I think I've started YouTube, not just, I know I said about raising awareness, but it's to reach out to others as well.
Yeah.
Because I know how much of a shit time I had of it, just trying to get what I was explaining believed. So if I can at least reach, one other human being out there going, wow, my arm does something stupid when I pick something that's even slightly heavy up, or, I go a bit faint when I stand up and I don't understand what. If it can give them some kind of answers, or, I was only diagnosed because my friend Tash went, that sounds a lot like EDS. So I went to my doctor and went, apparently this sounds like EDS. It needed somebody external to point me in the right direction. And if I can do that for somebody else, just by sitting in front of a camera and babbling for
that's most diagnoses are done by accident.
Yeah.
With me, so I've always had sleeping problems.
Yeah.
And I was taking part in a sleep clinic where they hooked me up to a brain scan while I was trying to sleep.
Yeah.
And they basically looked at my brain on the screen and went,
"That's fucked."
Yeah. There's bits missing. And then they took me out of the trial and referred me to a doctor, and that's what started it. That was 2015.
It wasn't you taking symptoms to a GP and going,
exactly.
Which is how you would hope most things are caught. Thankfully,
I did not even know, and what I've got is never caught this soon.
No.
So we've been doing experiments on me and stuff. It's been so much fun.
Amazing.
So much fun.
Just because
I get my brain electrified.
That's incredible.
It feels great.
Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? When you can kind of go, I've got this weird thing that's going on. Yeah. Let me teach you how to fix it.
That's it. And this is this was something that I've got written down in my notes as well.
Yeah.
So Shari.
Yeah.
Her YouTube channel.
Yes.
I think is, and obviously I'm going to be talking to Shari tomorrow.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And it's exactly what you said about reaching out to others who might be going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think Shari's YouTube channel is Cripple Can.
Yeah.
Which is a great name.
That's
and
it. She's waiting for the backlash. She's waiting for it. You can't call us cripples.
Don't think it'll happen.
I hope not.
Because, well, I mean, when you watch it, it's sort of self-explanatory why she's called it that. And I think that is the next step from yours.
Yeah.
Because you're reaching out to people who might think, oh, that sounds like me. Maybe I've got this EDS.
Yeah.
And the way I see what Shari's doing is it's somebody could watch that who's thinking, oh, yeah, I can't do anything. I've got this thing.
Exactly.
Whether it's EDS or something else.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're just sat and they're just stirring in their own light and they're just not happy. And then all of a sudden they see this YouTube channel with somebody saying that, somebody who's got this thing and saying, no, I can do this. Yeah. So can you.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's very uplifting. I think it's a beautiful thing.
She did such a good job. And she has released a couple of Cripple Cants, I think, as well.
Yeah. I think that was the last one I saw was the edited one.
Yeah. She's like, oh.
And she was screaming.
Yeah, she was struggling with the mouse and stuff. So yeah, she's got Sean to edit all her stuff. I'm still trying to get my fella to actually help with editing. That's the only thing that's holding me back at the minute is editing. Takes me anywhere up to 28 hours to edit one of my videos.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's so hard going. Like when you've gone, because obviously I go through it. When I've recorded a video, I mean, what shows on YouTube is probably 20 minutes. I don't think I've ever hit the half an hour mark, unless I'm live. Done a couple of did a 5.5 hour live stream.
Yes, yes, I did see that.
Was
I didn't watch it because I think I was at work at the time, but yeah I did.
That was crazy because I was just sat there babbling and fucking about with makeup, and I was like, oh, time has passed, and that's what happens when I'm sat down to record. I've got about an hour and a half worth of video footage, and I'm sat there going, most of this is bollocks, and I'm repeating myself about 8 times in this the same as you'll probably find here. I've repeated myself a whole bunch of times and I just sit here fucking babbling shit.
Well, things like that do happen. The December episode, like I do with this podcast, I do one episode a month.
Yeah.
And in December I had Matt Smith and Flo.
Yeah.
And we actually did 2 episodes.
Amazing.
So I say each episode is a maximum of 2 hours. And we just kept going and going. We had 4 hours worth. So I did it as 2 different episodes.
That's it.
And it was just mainly Matt ranting away.
Everybody's babbling shit.
That's what he does.
Yeah. But yeah, I've got to edit this hour-and-a-half video down into something that's kind of vaguely coherent. And then I like putting stupid shit in. I did more for my first one, I think, than I have subsequently. But I like putting weird-ass little, explosions or...
Well, you can, you've got to.
That's it.
So
I'll just sit for hours just fiddling about and tweaking. And
you've been doing bedtime stories as well, haven't you?
I did. I was going to do a series, but then loads of life happens as it does. I was going to do a Halloween series where I tell a story a day. And I ended up doing one at one point, which sucks because I really wanted to do more of that. But yeah, I just wanted to read a couple of horror stories on a live stream.
Yeah,
just for
it's
shiggles.
my one of my favourite podcasts, which I don't know if you've ever listened to this, but it's pretty much every episode I mention.
Yeah.
Last podcast on the left.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite things. And they do their creepypasta episodes.
Amazing.
Where they read out creepypasta, and they also do what they call listener pasta.
Amazing.
Where you can write something in,
and
send it to them, and they read it out.
Amazing.
And they've got one of the team is an actor called Henry Zabrowski.
Yeah.
And he does voices and characters and stuff.
Amazing.
And it's brilliant. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that sounds wicked.
So much fun.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, you would like Last Podcast on the Left.
I'll have to listen to that. I tend to, because sleeping is difficult, I tend to just listen to podcasts or something while I'm trying to get to sleep. So that's probably going to be one of the ones I go for.
Yeah, it's brilliant. They've got I think 500 episodes. So there's plenty.
Loads.
And they touch on so many different subjects. They're called the heavy hitter episodes,
right.
which are about serial killers.
Nice.
But they also do supernatural, paranormal. They do the occult and like just anything that's just a little bit on the weird side.
That's wicked.
It was like through Listen Same as where I got into chaos magic and stuff. So it's quite interesting.
I like it. Sounds
really good. Really good. That's always my recommendation.
Yeah.
People are what kind of podcast? Last podcast on the left.
Yeah.
Listen to last podcast on the left, because even if you're not into it, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
They're so funny.
Excellent. Good. Oh, I better plug my fellas then.
Yeah, go for it. Plug what you like.
Stephen's just started a Necromunda-based podcast called Sump City Radio. Now, I believe it's the only Necromunda podcast in the world now.
Right.
There was another one called Chronicles of the Underhive. But unfortunately, they had to stop. December was their last one. But generally, for podcasts, I mean, I'm not sure you were saying about a Blood Bowl podcast.
Yeah, that's
that you
two drunk flings. So.
That's the one. I don't know what theirs is like, but with Chronicles from the Underhive, it tended to be a group of mates that enjoy the game, enjoy the creative part of the hobby, which is creating your little mini models and kit bashing and painting them, and then new rules and bits and bobs, and they enjoyed sitting and chatting. But because Steve's got this actor and background, acting background, it was like, I want to run it like a proper radio station. So I want to have a weather girl. Brilliant. I want to have a news reporter. I want to have he's called them Blitz and Krieg, and they are basically what he calls murder brawl. I think it's basically made up like a pit fight. So he's got two characters called Blitz and Krieg who commentate that. So they interview with characters that have either Steve's made as a mini or the co-hosts are made as minis, and so they do go from this little plastic thing to a fully realised character, and Steve will usually do the voice for that. So I've got two characters that I play on it. One of them is Natomi Scalto, and she's a bit of a southerner, but she had a Lobo chip put in her head because took a headshot. So she's a bit slow, but she's the weather girl. So go and see what the weather's going to be like.
Because you used to play D&D as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you ever do Vampire the Masquerade?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, because you used to, when I worked at the Bell, you were one of that lot, weren't you?
Yeah,
you
man.
Into that, in the back room of the Bell.
That's it.
Yeah, because again, like, it was never something that I just never got into it.
Man,
like,
it's wicked.
I did have a go on D&D, but this was a few years ago. This was a bit later, and I was just, it's not for me.
It's not for everybody. It's one of those things where you kind of have to make your own fun out of it.
Yeah.
And in order to, I don't know if you're anything like me, but in order to stretch my legs and feel like I'm actually, what I say I want to do is viable, I just immerse and learn, what the restrictions are, what the world's like, what everything, all of the lore, because I just don't want to be making a tit out of myself.
Yeah, because being a massive Lovecraft freak, I've had to go on the Chaosium stuff and the Call of Cthulhu and things like that.
Yeah. Did you play the tabletop?
Yeah.
I love that. I love the sanity meter.
Yes.
So that's so good.
Well, they brought that into the video game.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
Yeah.
So good.
Did they do because there was a game called Eternal Darkness where they used
Sanity's Requiem.
That's it. That's the
best
one.
GameCube game ever.
Fucking love it, man. Although the last time I played it, I could have thrown my GameCube through the window because I forgot it doesn't auto-save, and I'm so used to auto-save.
Yeah, no, it doesn't, does it?
And I was sat there for 3-4 hours straight playing this fucking game, and I've not died once. Not once. And I was like, right, I'm knackered. I better turn it off. Turned it off, went back to it. No, you have to go to a save point, save the fucking game, don't you? Twat.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about the original Resident Evil. Just walk out like, where the fuck's the typewriter?
Yeah, damn right. Right, I'm afraid I need a pee break.
No worries. I'll pause for now.
Okay, no, go for a piss.
Hello, kittens. Andy Bawley here.
And Flo McCarthy.
We're here to tell you about Flandy. What's Flandy, Flo?
So it's a podcast we do every fortnight discussing current events.
And Flandy Flo sounds like the name of a Pokemon.
Flandy Flow.
Flandy Flow.
Wonder what it would look like.
An amalgamation of me and you.
Yeah, with massive eyelashes and a mohawk.
And shit tattoos. So it is available on Podbean, it is available on iTunes, what else?
Spotify.
And...
Google Podcast?
Yeah.
I've actually remembered it.
Well done.
I know.
And the website.
Oh, yeah.
Flybypants.com.
Are you out for coffee?
I am fine for coffee, thank you.
If you need a water or a juice or
I'll be alright. I've got a ridiculous, hideous energy drink in my bag.
Yeah!
Yes, fun. Right, so. Yes, we divulged and we've chatted about lots of things.
Yeah, we babbled shit. Prepare for more shit babbling.
Yes, lots more. Right, what have I got in my notes? It's just all stuff about EDS.
Yeah.
that was the whole point.
Is interesting.
Yes, go for it.
I only pushed because obviously Sherry is my daughter, but she started showing the same symptoms I was really familiar with from my childhood.
Yes.
And obviously I knew something, this was before I was even diagnosed and even heard of EDS. I knew there was something going on with her, and I knew that I was getting worse. And I was like, you know what, we need to get to the bottom of what's going on. So obviously a friend of mine, like I said, Tash, she went, that sounds like EDS. So I ended up going to a GP. And my GP was like, no, it's not going to be EDS. EDS is rare. You're not going to have that. I was like, okay, but would you mind just, sending me to somebody who can, decide whether that's possible or not?
Yeah.
I do have a lot of the symptoms. I score a 9 out of 9 on the Baton scale, which is basically, can you do that? Do your elbows bend backwards? Yes. Do your knees bend backwards? And is your spine hypermobile? So yes, I can put my hands flat on the floor. So they're like, yeah, okay. I think there's a couple more. Forget. Like one for each knee, one for each arm. Your thumbs. Oh yeah, no, that's it. So 2, 4, 6. I don't know. There's something else. I don't know. But I scored, I think on the day I scored 8 out of 9 because where I'd had my knee surgery and they'd fixed it.
Right.
It wasn't quite bending to 20 degrees that she needed.
Yeah.
But it was like, that's fine. But yeah, I primarily tried to get diagnosed because I knew after looking everything up after my friend signposted me, they are more likely to diagnose somebody with EDS if you've got a family member who has EDS. And I was like, right, well, my dad was really ill and double jointed, as he called it. My mum's always been bendy. So even if neither of them have EDS, they both have a bendy gene.
Technical term.
Yeah.
Bendy gene.
Yeah. So they can bend. They're flexible, more flexible than they should be. So I thought that could be enough to cause the mutation in me. So sent to a rheumatologist first. Rheumatologist was a cunt. He did the same as my GP. Oh well, it's rare, so it's not likely you've got it. And I said, I'm not going for likely. I'm going for have I or haven't I got it? And it took so much fighting just to be put in front of a geneticist, because to get diagnosed with EDS, for the hypermobility type, there isn't actually a genetic marker. So it's not as simple as taking some blood, testing your DNA and seeing if you have the genetic issue. There's not one singular marker that they can test for. So it's done with just looking at you and testing and just going through very carefully and seeing if everything matches. So the geneticist I spoke to, she was like, yep, definitely, yes. I'm now going to forward you on to a lot of people and write to your doctor that they need to look after you better. I was like, yeah. And I think it was 2 months later, like, march Sherry off. Right. But she, again, it's the rheumatologists are a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Sherry was told, she'll probably tell you this tomorrow, but she was told by the rheumatologist to begin with. It was like, right, yeah, definitely a case here that you might have EDS. I'm gonna, because they've got loads of referral sheets they have to write out, and you know, just getting his paperwork in order. It was like, I just need my colleague to come in and make sure I've done all these referral papers properly. Colleague came in and said, well, there's no point in diagnosing her with EDS because there's nothing we can do anyway. It's a waste of time and resources to bother to do it. Turned around and fucked off. This was right in front of Sherry.
Jesus.
I really do wish that she'd have, you know, made me come with her.
Yeah.
She was like, she was doing her independent thing. Yeah, no, I can do this on my own. I'd have punched the fucker.
Yeah. No, that's ridiculous. I keep hearing like stories like this. My doctor, my GP, is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm one of the lucky ones. He's really good to the point where to explain what was going on with my brain, he was using Star Wars analogies.
Fucking yes.
So that I understood.
Yeah.
And
when he said, "I'm gonna hear this," what did he say?
Well, the first thing he said was like basically my midichlorians are out of whack.
Fuck yeah.
And then he started talking in terms of like fantasy and like Game of Thrones and things like that.
Yeah,
and it was great. Yeah, basically he was saying like my how did he put it again? God, yeah, this was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically my brain is Helgen at the beginning of Skyrim. And this thing that I've got is Aldwin.
Yeah, and he's burning the shit out of it.
But only instead of it happening within a 20-minute time span, it's going to happen in 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's basically...
It's on like 100
yeah, yeah.
or 0.001 speed.
And he said, with what you're saying about people saying, oh no, it's not that because it's rare.
Yeah.
He said to me that nothing is rare anymore.
No. Because
the only thing that makes things medically rare is the fact that people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But now we're so more open about it's the same with one of the big criticisms that you hear from idiots at the moment is, oh, everybody's got a mental problem.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, and people saying that it's fashionable to have mental health issues. It's not. It's just we're more open about it, and
people
it's
are
more
having conversations.
That's it. People are more acceptant about it,
and that's good.
It's
that
very
is such
good.
a good thing.
And this is what my doctor was saying about things that used to be considered rare.
Yeah.
Actually aren't as rare as we thought.
No.
It's just that now people are recognising these things and people are talking about it and people are like more acceptant of there is something wrong with it. Yeah.
I mean, it's similar to autism. You know, years ago autism wasn't even really thought of as a thing, and autism was literally just a child who was catatonic and wasn't communicating and would scream. But autism was also the kid at the back of the room who was bored out of the tiny mind because they'd already figured everything out and done all the work, and they were fucking about because they were bored, but they didn't quite understand how that was affecting everybody else.
Yeah, that's it. I've just showed you my latest tattoo. Yeah. She's autistic.
Yeah, that's it. My son's autistic. A 15-year-old son. And he's autistic, but and like you say, everybody's communicating more openly. Everybody's going, this is a thing I have, this is my parents have, or my kids have. So we're all talking about it more often. And you hear so much about, oh, this is more prevalent, this is more popular, or this is happening way more than it used to. So clearly it's, something is making it worse. And it's like, no, it's just people are now not a naughty kid at the back of the room. They have an issue that can be dealt with, and then that person can then get the help they need to be.
These things are being recognised.
That's it.
And this is why. This is another article that I recently wrote, but the statistics of suicide in men.
Oh yeah. Fucking horrific.
It's exactly the same. The same as it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's not as frequent.
No.
Because now men are being told it's okay, it's fine. You can talk about your issues, you can talk about your emotions, you can talk about your feelings. It is difficult for men to do that. No, I think I went on a rant when Flo said something about this on one of the episodes of Flandy, and I went on a massive rant about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's
well, men so much. They had the man's got to be strong and a provider, and he's got to be stable, and he's got to,
we can't talk about these things.
You don't talk about it. It doesn't matter. You choke it down. You keep on going because that's what a man does.
Yeah.
And we've just kind of kicked the shit out of that stereotype now and gone, no, that's not healthy.
Definitely.
You're going to get into trouble.
Because men don't get emotional. That's the main thing. Yeah. You don't show emotion. You don't admit to your feelings.
Yeah. It's sad. So sad.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, I've seen some really, really good guys go through some really hard times.
Shit. Yeah.
And I've seen some really bad things happen.
Yeah.
But you just have to carry on.
Yeah.
it's really bad. But now, I'll just say that stereotype's gone, and now it's not gone. It's going. It's changing. There is still. I mean, even for me, I still sort of stop myself sometimes. And can't talk about that.
Yeah.
And I've always been quite an open person.
There's still breaks that social expectations sometimes make you want to stop you from doing shit. Which sucks, man. I fucking hate it. I love society, but at the same time, I hate it. I love people, but at the same time,
hate them. I can completely understand
hate them. People are incredible. They're also bastards.
Yeah, there was. I might be wrong at this. I think it was Oscar Wilde. I might be wrong, but he said it's a saying of I do not like people, but I am fond of a person.
Yes,
And that's, I think, is perfect.
Yeah,
I think that is
100%.
absolutely brilliant.
Individually, people are amazing, and I love people.
It's when you get us all together.
When people get into pack mentalities.
Yeah.
They're either stupid or they're just stupid.
Just stupid.
Again, go back to the zombie thing. I don't know if you ever tried to herd 24 scared people around a dark basement. Jesus fucking Christ, some people are stupid. That, sir, is a pull door. You need to pull it to open it. So, if I'm going to pull this to open it, if you're fucking breathing down my ear hole, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get a door to your face hole.
Yeah, of course.
But people, it all goes out the window, especially when you add panic. You add panic, dark, zombies, fear. People are idiots, man. Even people who afterwards, after the event, and you sat chatting with them, and you're like, that was weird what you did there. And he was like, no, I'm cute, I'm cool as a cucumber, nothing rattles me. And it's like, alright.
Yeah, that
I
does
did
go out
see
the window.
you fucking jump 3 feet in the air and run on the spot. Because you saw me jump out at a doorway, but alright, yeah, cool. Cool.
Yeah, that was, I was at a gig recently. It was an acoustic gig.
Right.
And I think recently, this was a few months ago now, but just this guy with an acoustic guitar, and he's up there and he's singing original songs, he's singing covers.
Nice.
And this girl stands up and she walks to the stage, she's waving at him, and he's like, and she interrupts the gig to make a request. She stopped him from playing one of his songs and said, "Can you play something by Ed Sheeran?"
Oh, can you fuck off, love?
And like this guy's answer was absolutely brilliant. He says, "I am not a fucking jukebox."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I love it. I love it."
Who does that?
Yeah. And
Who fucking does that?
And like, yeah, I was sat there with my friend. I was just like, "What the?
What the fuck?
Have I just seen? What?"
You better.
And I spoke to this guy afterwards, and he just said, "Yeah, it happens. It happens all the time." He said it happens a lot. I was like, "I've never had that. Even though I've been doing acoustic stuff, I've never had that at all."
Fucking people.
But then I don't play sort of like contemporary music, so
No.
I don't play. If I do covers, I don't really do that many modern songs.
No.
Where he was,
Oh,
so it's like, but yeah, it's
God.
just. But still, you don't stop like.
Who does that?
You know, it's like. It's like going to a Metallica gig and asking them to play a Megadeth song. You know, it's just like.
Absolutely, who does that? Cancer, all the way to the front of the stage. Could you play Symphony of Destruction?
Yeah. Yeah, or going to Slayer, going to the Slayer gig. So Tom, play some Ed Sheeran, mate. As much as I would love to hear Slayer cover an Ed Sheeran song.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, no, they've split up now, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've retired. But,
Well, yeah, but
yeah, I would love to hear like Slayer's version of Thinking Out Loud. Would be amazing.
Yeah. People have no sense of decorum, though. I think again, this is the internet world, though, isn't it?
That's it. Everything's instant.
People
and
have
everything is.
access to like their favourite pop stars. They can send them a fucking tweet. You know, I'm just going to tweet this to Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
You know, so they feel everything is so much more accessible. And again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier about people thinking that celebrities are their property and they can do whatever they like with them.
Yeah, I'm a fan. It's this whole thing of, well, the same thing like working in retail as well, where like I've had customers having to go, so I pay your wages. Right?
No, you don't.
You don't.
This company pays my wages.
Yeah, and I think
you're fucking 15 quid for whatever you just bought. Drop in the ocean, mate.
Yeah, yeah, it's nothing. And and I think that's how a lot of people see. Yeah, I'm a fan of this singer.
They're only there because I put them there.
Yeah, it's like when people send them sort of like, oh, it's my, I've got my. Who was it? It wasn't Ed Sheeran. It was one of those little people that came out because of Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Where this woman had sent him an email saying, "Look, my daughter's a massive fan. It's a birthday. We know that you're playing that night. You're playing a concert in our town that night. We'd be able to pop by on a birthday party just to say hello. Don't mean the world to her." And obviously he couldn't, and she complained about it. She went, "I can't remember his name. I can't remember. He's playing
fucking gig."
Yeah, he's playing it. Oh God, he's playing in Brighton soon because Flo keeps going on about wanting to go see him. I can't remember his name, but and she was like just going to the papers about it was rude and all this, and she was writing stuff on Facebook. And it's just the fact is that he didn't the town where he was playing that night. And I've been on tour. I've done gigs in different He didn't actually get into town until 5 o'clock. He had to go straight to the venue and do a sound check.
Yeah.
It's how it works.
It is how it works.
It is how it works.
You literally when you're touring around, you get to the place. You're lucky if you get to have a meal first.
Yeah.
You do your sound check. Then you're preparing. Then again, you're lucky if you're able to get something to eat before you go on. And then by the time you're done on stage, you have a shower, you come off, and you just want to go to the fucking either the hotel or the tour bus and go to sleep. That's literally it.
That was my experience of Swansea. I always want to go back to Swansea because it looked really nice out of the window.
Yeah.
But I literally saw, as we drove in, I looked out the window and saw that. I saw the venue, and then because we got straight back on the bus and went to the next town.
Off. Yeah.
And that was it.
And that's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, and we had people giving us shit actually because we didn't hang around and do a signing afterwards.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we couldn't. We had so much to do. Like.
Sorry, mate. The fucking bus and get to the next town.
Yeah.
We had to get there tonight so we could set up and like.
Well, we were going that particular. That wasn't actually my band. That was I was doing session work with someone else. and we were going from Swansea up to Scotland, so we had to just go.
You gotta go
because we had to do an appearance.
Yeah.
It was just it was terrible, really bad.
And people think, oh well, you're in here, you're here, so that means you must be available all day at my disposal. Fuck off, does it?
yeah, it's not a holiday. It's hard fucking work.
If you're lucky, like you might get an hour and a half, 2 hours just on sound check.
Yeah.
Fucking
Really
people, man.
bad.
And then the venue opens. Ta-da!
It's so bad, but people. I think people do definitely. Is it Shawn Mendes? Is he a person?
Oh, Shawn Mendes is a person. I thought he was a YouTubey person.
I think it's him.
Oh.
I think it was him.
Tim to Google Spiderweb will tell us.
The great Google. The great Google. Yes.
But people do claim ownership now.
They do, yeah, definitely.
Fucking...
They really, really do. It is a bit insane. Yes. So, is there anything else you would like to plug or talk about?
Yeah. Hopefully. Sorry, I'm just typing in Shawn Mendes, forgetting how to spell. Oh yeah, Canadian singer-songwriter. That fella.
Well, let me have a look at a picture. Yeah, that's him.
There we go. Oh, no, what am I? There we go. So yay, it was Shawn Mendes.
I got there in the end.
We know now. My next work, kind of work, I'm saying work in the loosest sense of the term. The friend I've mentioned a couple of times, Tash.
Yes.
She writes murder mysteries. And we've all been working together. I was actually in her last show that was called Big Girls Don't Cry. Which was incredible. It was like such a good show.
Yeah.
And
love the name. It's one of my favourite songs.
Yeah.
Love the Four Seasons.
That's it. So it's called Action Adventure Theatre, AAT, and then Productions, AATP. There we go.
Right.
But she used to tour with her shows, and she's done one of her shows in Derby.
Right.
I think that was Poison Pantomime, something like that. It was around Christmas period, so she likes to incorporate.
Poison Pantomime sounds like a Kiss album.
Yeah, it really does. But the idea was the audience needed to figure out who the poisoner was and the cast.
Oh, right. And that is that rather abrupt ending that I told you about at the beginning of the episode. Remember when I said that? Yeah, because I'm a fucking idiot, basically. And I ruined a perfectly good chat. Now, obviously I want to do this sort of like framing device to explain what I'm doing this month with the 2 episodes this month. But I also wanted to take this time to tell you a little bit about the kind of person that you've just been listening to. She doesn't know I'm doing this, and I've got a feeling she's going to have a few choice words with me, and she might want to kill me. But not long before we recorded this episode, Adelle was actually diagnosed with a stage 1 breast cancer that she called Boris. And not long after we recorded the episode, she had an operation. And she's all good. She's all good. Now, not long after the operation, she basically sent out an open letter to special effects makeup artists saying that she's taken lots of photos of her mastectomy scar, and if anyone would like to use these photos for reference, then drop a line. And that's where they are. So anything that to me is amazing. To have that sort of attitude after something like that. And this is the point that I want to make, because Adele is always thinking of others. She always has. When I was a lot younger and a lot dumber than I am now, and I was going through some really tough times, Adele was there, regardless of what she was going through, and regardless of what Adele goes through, Adele is there for everyone else. Now, when she got the results from her mastectomy, the cancer turned out to be in her lymph nodes. And Adele volunteered for 2 medical trials. I'm not going to read out the entire status that she put up about this, but she's taken part in 2 medical trials, so she volunteered for 2 medical trials. And her actual words were, "I will be helping doctors to create better treatment plans for future patients. My prognosis is still good. Boris was a stage 1 cancer." But regardless, her thoughts are with the people that she can help by taking part in these trials. Now, we're all having a bit of a shit time at the moment because we're all locked down. I myself have found this whole experience quite difficult, because I do spend a lot of my time out and about, and talking to people is what I do. I socialise, I have conversations, I record these conversations. I can't do that at the moment. Even my fortnightly get-togethers with Flo to record Flandy is over the phone. It's not the same. And I have been wallowing a little bit, and I've been finding it difficult, I've been finding it hard. But there are people who are also going through this whole lockdown thing, and the fear, the threat of COVID-19 is over all of us, really. And they have other things going on, Adele being one of these people, as I've just told you. So while I am sat there wallowing, miserable, unhappy because I can't go to the pub with my mates, what is Adele Overton, who has Ehlers Danlos syndrome and cancer? What's Adele doing? Well, I'm sitting here feeling sorry for myself because I can't go for a fucking pint. Adele has been making sun catchers out of epoxy resin, rainbow sun catchers, which are amazing to look at, and she's selling them for £10 each and donating every single penny to the NHS. You can actually see these on her Instagram page. I will put a link to her Instagram page and, of course, to her YouTube channel. So if you want to have a look at these things, drop her a line. And once again, Mom Adele, you fucking legend. Thank you for everything. I'll be back in a couple of weeks talking to Adele's daughter, Shari. Until then, big love.